Choose your fighter.
Lightning inspired. Fight.
What is up, guys? This is Aviation 24 here, coming at you with another Eastern Liberty International Airport for you guys. This is airport update number 90, so that means we're 10 away from being at 100 airport updates for this airport, which is crazy to think of, since that this airport has been with us from the beginning, literally, and it will always be with us no matter what. But yeah, my brother's gonna start off here with this Boeing 767 right in front of you.
So right here, as my brother said, we have the 767 Boeing converted freighter. This aircraft is operated by Cargo Jet, and this beautiful bird will be making a flight out to Halifax.
And right behind him is the Copa Airlines Boeing 737-800 in the regular livery with the split scimitars. This plane is going to be heading out to Panama City, Panama. And also, by the way, the time frame for this airport is also in the early morning, so there's a lot of cargo aircraft moving around with some, you know, occasional planes that are delayed from the night before or just overnighting planes.
Right behind that, we have the Japan Airlines 787-9. This gorgeous, beautiful machine is going to be making a flight out to Tokyo, Narita.
Also taxiing towards runway 31 left is the Lufthansa Cargo MD-11F. I know, but you guys are going to say, whoever's new here, that the MD-11F is already retired from Lufthansa's fleet. We already know that, but for the meantime, we like to keep it on the airport updates, and, you know, just for, like, you know, a little bit of history and whatnot. But this is basically operating for the 777F, and this plane is going to be heading out to Frankfurt.
Here being pulled by a tug into the gate is a United 757-200 with the beautiful winglets. This aircraft is being repositioned into the gate from overnight and will be making a later flight out to Eagle County Airport.
All right, moving on to the northeastern side of the airport, here we have the UPS Boeing 747-8F. This plane has arrived in from Louisville, Kentucky, and will be making a later flight out to Dubai Worldport Airport.
Here we have our most rarest model, the Magma Boeing 747-400 Boeing converted freighter. This aircraft has come in from Liège, Belgium, and will be making a later flight out to Cologne, Germany.
Right here we have the Emirates Airbus A380 in the Dubai Expo livery. This plane is doing a very interesting flight, since that Emirates operates 2 early morning flights, one on this Airbus A380, and in a few minutes we're going to see a 777-9 arrive in. But this plane is going to be landing here, as you already tell, and it's going to be making a later repositioning flight out to Harry CVG Spotter, which is New York International Airport.
Right here, slowing down on the runway, is a Boeing 767-300ER operated by Prime Air. This aircraft is coming in from Ontario, California, and will be making a later flight out to Lexington, Kentucky.
Right, moving back down to the southeastern side of the airport, where we start off with Terminal A, which mostly has Delta and United, but on this side, on the southeastern side of the terminal, it's just separated by a taxiway, but you know, there's an underground walkway underneath to connect the terminals. But this side is mainly just United Airlines and Star Alliance members. But starting off right here we have the United Boeing 737-900ER in a new livery. This plane is overnighting for its flight tomorrow out to Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Here we have the United 737-900ER in the Continental livery. This aircraft is going to be making a flight out to Cancun, Mexico.
Right next to him is the one of our brand new models, which is the United Airbus A321neo. This plane is arrived in earlier from Chicago O'Hare, and it's overnighting, but making a later departure out in the morning out to Fort Myers.
Right here we have a United 737 MAX 8. This aircraft is going to be making a later flight out to Nashville, Tennessee.
Right here we have the United Boeing 737-800 in the new livery. This plane is going to be making a later departure this morning out to San Diego, California. And also, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but this plane has like a slight yellow fuselage, like white paint to the like body, and like look at the Max 8 in the background and the other United in the background. Like, it's kind of weird. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a defect with this one, but I don't know. It's quite interesting.
Right here we have a United Express ERJ-170. This aircraft is operated by Republic and will be making a later flight this morning out to Knoxville, Tennessee.
Moving on to our first International Starlines member is the Avianca Airbus A320 in the regular livery, as you guys saw the review video for. Hope you guys, enjoyed that. But this plane is about to be ready for pushback out to its flight out to Bogota, Colombia, and it came in earlier from San Salvador, Ecuador.
Here we have the Air Canada 737 MAX 8. This aircraft will be making a later flight out to Calgary, Alberta.
Right here we have the United Express CRJ900 operated on behalf of Mesa Airlines. This plane arrived in like super late at night from Greensville Spartanburg Airport and will be making a later departure out to Louisville, Kentucky.
Here we have an Airpuff 737-800 with a split scimitars and a braided tail livery. This aircraft is going to be making a later flight out to Aslan Airport.
Now leaving those Starlines members behind and going back to United, here we have the United Boeing 737-200 in the New York Here livery. This plane is going to be making a later departure out to Edinburgh, Scotland.
Right here we have a United 757-200 in the old color scheme. This aircraft is going to be making a lovely flight out to Phoenix, Arizona.
Next up here we have the United 737 MAX 8 in a new livery. This plane is going to be making a later departure this morning out to New Orleans, and it came in later this night from Charleston, South Carolina.
Here we have a United Airbus A320 in the old color scheme. This aircraft arrived in from Houston and will be making a later flight out to Savannah.
Next up here we have the United Boeing 737-900ER with the split scimitars in the Eco Skies livery. This plane has arrived in late at night from Port of Spain in Trinidad and will be making a later flight out to Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic.
Right here we have the United 757-200 in the California Her Art Here. This aircraft will be making a later flight out to LAX and came in earlier from San Francisco.
And then finishing us off for the United narrow bodies on this side is United Airbus A321neo. This plane has arrived in from Chicago O'Hare and will be making a later flight out to Sacramento, California.
Here we have the United 767-300ER. This aircraft will be soon making a flight out to Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Moving on to the JetBlue side of the terminal, which I also forgot to mention, this also houses JetBlue. But right here we have the JetBlue Airbus A320 in the balloon's tail. This plane will be making a later departure this morning out to Bermuda.
Here we have a JetBlue Airbus A321 in the Prism's tail. This aircraft will be making a flight out to Norman Manley, Kingston, Jamaica.
Next up, here we have another JetBlue Airbus A321 in the Prism's tail. This plane has arrived in from San Juan, Puerto Rico, and will be making a later departure out to St. Martin this morning.
Right here we have a JetBlue Airbus A320 in the high-rise tail. This aircraft will be heading out to Dallas-Fort Worth and came in earlier from West Palm Beach.
Right here we have the JetBlue Airbus A321neo in the balloon's tail. This plane has arrived in last night from St. Kitts. This flight is usually operated by the A320, but we might as well switch it up for tonight and use the A321neo. But it came in from St. Kitts and will make a later departure out to Fort Lauderdale. All right, moving on to the last section of, one of the last sections of Terminal A over here. We're going to start off with these 5 United aircraft that are all overnighting. Starting off in the very far back is the United Express CRJ550 operated by GoJet. This plane has arrived in from Portland and will make a later flight out to Washington National Airport. And then we have the United Express Embraer E175 operated on behalf of SkyWest. This plane has arrived in from Syracuse, New York, and will make a later departure out to Greensville Spartanburg Airport. And towards the middle right here in your focus is another United Airbus A320, but this time is in a new livery. This plane has arrived in from Chicago O'Hare and will make a later flight out to Denver. And then right next to that is the United Boeing 737-800 in the Starlines livery, the new one to be exact. This plane has arrived in from Bermuda and will make a later flight out to New Orleans. And then last but not least, we have the United 737-700 in a new livery. This plane has arrived in from St. Martin and will make a later flight out to Orlando.
Right here we have a Malaysia Airlines 800, but this is actually just a Sun Country 737-800. This aircraft will be making a flight out to Minneapolis, St. Paul.
Alright, finishing us off for this side of the passenger side of things, over here on this side of the airport, is the Frontier Airbus A320 Neo in the Champ Bronco tail. This plane has arrived in from Tampa and will make a later departure out to Fort Lauderdale.
Here we have the FedEx MD-11F. This aircraft has come in from Memphis, Tennessee, and will be making a later flight out to Oakland, California.
Right here we have the Nippon Cargo Airlines Boeing 747-8F. This plane has arrived in from Tokyo, Narita via Anchorage, Alaska, and will be heading back out there via Chicago O'Hare.
Here we have a Southern Air 777F. This aircraft has come in earlier from Cincinnati and will be making a later flight out to Bogota.
Switching our focus back to passenger operations, here we have the Breeze Airways Embraer E195. This plane is currently overnighting, but will make a later departure this morning out to Charleston, South Carolina.
Here we have a Delta Airbus A321neo. This aircraft is getting loaded up with luggage for its flight out to Salt Lake City.
Next up, we have the Delta Boeing 737-800 in the SkyTeam livery. This plane is overnighting like most of the Delta planes here, but this plane will make a later departure out to Tampa, Florida.
Here we have a Delta Airbus A319. This aircraft will be making a later flight out to Bermuda.
And right next to him is the Delta Airbus A320. This is one of our new models. This plane has arrived in last night from Austin, Texas, and will make a later departure out to Detroit.
Right here we have a WestJet 737-800 in a swoop color scheme. This aircraft will be making a later flight out to Toronto Peterson.
Right here we have the Delta Boeing 757-300. This plane is currently about to be pushed back for its flight out to Seattle, Tacoma.
Here we have the Delta 757-200. This aircraft will be making a flight out to St. Martin.
Right here we have the Delta Airbus A320. This plane is currently getting the catering on board the aircraft, as this plane is about to be ready for its flight out to Atlanta, Hartsfield Jackson in Georgia.
Here we have the Delta 737-900ER. This aircraft came in late last night from Cancun and will be making a flight out to Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Right here we had the Southwest Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Yuma 1 livery. This beautiful plane has arrived in late last night from Dallas Love Field and will be making a later departure out to Chicago Midway.
Here we have a Southwest 737-800. This aircraft arrived in late last night from Orlando and will be making a later flight out to Tampa.
And finishing us off for Southwest, here we have the Southwest Boeing 737-800 in the Freedom 1 livery, the most patriotic plane you can ever find. This plane has arrived in late last night from Phoenix, Arizona, and is about to get its bags loaded on and everything for its flight out to Denver, Colorado.
Here we have an Alaska 737 MAX 9 in the Orc livery. This aircraft will be making a later flight out to Palm Springs, California.
And last but not least for Alaska, here at the Terminal C, is the Alaska Boeing 737-800 in the Honoring Doses Serve livery. This plane has arrived in late last night from Seattle and will make a later departure out to Portland, Oregon.
And here we have the American Eagle ERJ-175. This aircraft is operated by Republic and will be making a beautiful flight out to Pittsburgh.
Next up, here we have the American Eagle E175S. This plane is currently getting passengers boarded on and baggage loaded on for its flight out to Indianapolis, and this is also operated on behalf of Republic Airlines.
Right here we have the American Eagle CRJ-900, operated by PSA. This aircraft came in late last night from Toronto Peterson and will be making a later flight this morning to Charlotte, North Carolina.
And last but not least for Terminal C, here we have the American Eagle Embraer E145. This plane is operated on behalf of Piedmont Airlines, and it came in late last night from Philadelphia and will make a later departure this morning out to Albany, New York. Right now, moving on to Terminal B, which houses American Airlines, One World members, and Spirit Airlines here. My brother's going to start us off with this 737 right in front of us, so go ahead, bro.
Here we have the American 737-800 with the beautiful little American winglets. This aircraft came in late last night from Albuquerque and will be making a later flight out to Dallas, Fort Worth.
Right next to him is the American Airbus A321T. This plane is currently getting its bags loaded on, as this flight does the early morning flight as American Flight 1 to Los Angeles.
Right here we have the American 737-800. This aircraft came in late last night from Antigua and will be making a flight later this morning out to Montego Bay, Jamaica.
Right next to him is the American Airlines Airbus A319, the little baby bus now, since that the A318 is basically all phased out. But this, as you can tell, this plane is getting bags loaded on and its passengers loaded on for its flight out to Eagle County Airport this morning, and it came in last night from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Right here we have the American Airbus A320. This aircraft came in late last night from Raleigh, Durham, and will be making a later flight this morning out to Chicago O'Hare.
Next up for the American narrow bodies, here we have the American Boeing 737 MAX 8. This plane has arrived in late last night from Mexico City, Mexico, and will be making a later departure this morning out to Miami, Florida.
Right here we have the Sprite, aka Spirit, Airbus A321 in the Bear Fair livery. This aircraft is going to be making a later flight this morning to Las Vegas.
Right here we have the American Airlines Boeing 777-300ER. This plane has arrived in late last night from Tokyo Narita, which is, I mean, I know this flight starts in June, but might as well celebrate it a bit early. But yeah, this flight has arrived in from Tokyo Narita and will be making a later departure out to London Heathrow this morning.
Here we have the Delta Connection CRJ900 operated by Endeavor. This aircraft will be making a later flight this morning out to Charlottesville.
Next up, for Terminal A-2 is the Delta Connection CRJ700 operated by Endeavor as well. This plane is going to be heading out to Bentonville.
Here we have the Delta Airbus A321. This aircraft arrived in late last night from Orlando and will be making a flight out to Atlanta later this morning.
And last but not least, for the Delta narrow bodies, here we have the Delta Airbus A321 in a thank you livery. This plane has arrived in late last night from Detroit, operating for the Airbus A319, and it's going to be heading out to Salt Lake City this morning.
Here we have the Korean Air Boeing 777-300ER. This aircraft is going to be making a lovely flight this morning out to Seoul, Korea.
Right here we have the Delta Airbus A350-900 XWB. This plane has arrived in last night from London Heathrow and will be making a later departure out to Nice, France.
Here we have the Delta 767-300ER. This aircraft is making a push back for Edinburgh, Scotland.
Next up, here we have the Delta Airbus A330-300. This plane is also overnighting with many other planes here tonight in this update. But he has arrived in late last night from Rome, Italy, and will be making a later departure out to Frankfurt, Germany.
Here we have the Delta 767-300ER. This is the last aircraft for this airport update. This plane has come in late last night from San Francisco and will be making a later flight this morning out to Los Angeles.
Alright guys, so that's going to conclude for tonight's airport update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's try to keep it as quiet as possible with the airport update, not make it so much of a busy one. But do you remember that we are doing a giveaway when we reach 1,000 subscribers? So make sure you guys do subscribe and everything. Seems like you guys been liking the videos lately, so we're gonna keep doing what we've been doing, making them better each and every video. So yeah, that basically concludes. But all I have to say, bro, what do you have to say?
Well, guys, it's been a been a joy running this channel with you guys, and we have many more airport updates up and coming, and maybe uploads will be a little more frequent. So guys, stay tuned, and you'll see new content.
Yep. Alright, so that's gotta wrap it up for this video, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Adios.